Hello everyone, my name is Keshandra Kumar and I am soft skills trainer from Department of Career and Planning Development, Chandigarh University. And in this video, we'll talk about manners and etiquette. And the first of all, if we go as per the content, then we'll talk about what are the manners and etiquette first, and then we'll try to create a difference between both of them, and then it has to be followed by what are the different types of manners that we have, and finally we'll conclude by knowing what are the ideal manners and etiquette that has to be followed in publics and in different environment, and at last we will conclude. So let's start by introducing what are the manners and etiquette first. So let me talk about manners first. So the manners are polite behaviors that reflects an attitude of consideration, kindness, and respect for others. You may not have been taught how to make proper introductions, but a kind person knows better than to be little or embarrass another person in public or private. A well-mannered person also remembers to say please and thank you and refrain from interpreting others in the middle of the conversation. So etiquette is the code of polite social conduct based on social acceptance and efficiency, with the same logic as traffic laws that ensures smooth transportation flow and prevent collisions. So there are societal rules designed to facilitate human exchanges and reduce conflict. When you know the rules of etiquette for any given situation, it increases your comfort, your competence, and your confidence as well. Like for example, once you know the etiquette and rules of table sitting, you will not have to wonder that which bread and butter plate is yours, which fork is to be used when in the course of the meal. So that is the etiquette of table sitting. So like for example, I'm taking the another example just to make you understand properly. Now consider this way. Understanding the why behind the rules helps people buy in and practice the protocols. Consider why a name tag is worn on the right instead of left. For instance, that's because it's easier for the others to see when you shake hands. As each person extends the right hand, the line of vision naturally follows past the length of the arm and hand to the placement of the name tag, which is on the person's right. So this was the manners and etiquettes in a layman language. Now, I think the difference between both the terms in this way, like etiquettes provides the form or structure within which good manners operate, is a code of polite conduct based on social acceptance and efficiency, just as the traffic laws I mentioned. So now let's discuss what are the different types of manners that we have, and we'll discuss it with the help of the PPTs. So let's go ahead. So this is the PPT. What are the manners and etiquettes? The definitions of manners and etiquette we have already discussed. Now let's see what this PPT has. So the first thing that PPT has is types of manners: table manners, corporate manners, eating manners, wedding manners, sitting manners, meeting manners, telephone manners, and finally we have got social manners. Now we'll discuss every manners one by one. The first that we'll take is table manners. Now, table manners, what are the different things that has to be taken care of while being on the table? Let's see. Now, the first thing is do not place anything on the table. Now it happens most of the time when we are having meal, we tend to put something on the table. That should be avoided. Keep utensil in the same order they appear on the table. Now this is one of the bad habits that we have. We take things from any place and we forget to put it back as it was previously placed. So that has also been taken care of. Wait for all parties to arrive before beginning any part of meal. So that is one of the good manners that we should learn. We should wait for others to come and join, and then we should start having our meal. Do not push your plate away from you when you have finished. Yeah. So these are the table etiquettes, table manners that has to be taken care of and followed. So the second types of manners that we have is eating manners. Beautiful pictures of beautiful girl in front of you. So these are the manners that has to be followed while eating. So the first thing is, if you cannot eat a certain type of food, tell your host several days before the dinner party. That exactly. And the second that we have is, if you are a guest, it is polite to wait until your host starts. That has to be done. Yes. Always say thank you when served something. So this is very common and this is very basic thing. Whenever you get something from somebody, you should always say thank you. Never leak the fingers. So it happens most of the time, and we leak our fingers out of excitement because we like the taste of the particular object very much. So we ended up leaking our fingers, but that does not look very good, and it should always be avoided. The third type of manners is corporate manner. So let's see what are the important factors, what are the important points that has to be taken care of while being in corporate life. Yeah, the first thing is turn the cell phone completely off. So this is a very important and crucial point that has to be taken care of. And in the most of the time, what we do, let's say if you are rushing towards meeting, or let's say it could be of any sort of meeting, so we tend to put it our mobile phone in silent mode. That has to be avoided, because in silent mode also we tend to disturb ourselves. So it should be completely off. Saying please and thank you is obviously is very good manners. Keep your right hand free for handshake. Yes. So that is very evident, right? I mean, you should keep your right hand free always and always, so that you can extend your hand for handshake with other person, with your colleague or with your peers, because we do it most of the time. We are chatting, or like we holding phone, or we are holding something on hand, so it doesn't look good actually. It looks little rude, so that has to be avoided as well. Make eye contact and offer a warm smile. That obviously, because when you smile, it reflects, and definitely the energy that you are having, it reflects to the other person, and he or she also tends to smile. So it's always good to make an eye contact, and obviously it's always good to smile as well. Be perceptive at the last. Yeah. So these are the things that has to be taken care of while being in the corporate atmosphere, and if you follow these things, definitely you will stand out. You'll be noticed in the crowd. That is very important, because until you showcase a manner and like sort of a required etiquette in the corporate environment, you will not be noticed. So it's important to follow all these things. Yeah. Okay, so next manners that we have is social manners, and it is extremely important to know what are the manners that has to be followed while being in the society, because every day we keep on interacting with people around us. So let's see what are the things. Another type of manners is social manners. So what are the social manners that has to be taken care of? The first thing is punctuality. Now the punctuality plays a very important role that shows if you're a self-disciplined person or not. whether do you have some kind of protocols in your life, whether do you have some kind of principles in your life or not. So punctuality plays a very important role. Whenever we fix a meeting with somebody, we should always reach before time. That definitely create a good impression as well. Now the second that we have is telephone conduct. Now most of the time we always glued into our phone, so that should be avoided. Well, let's say if we are talking with somebody, we should always make an eye contact with the person. Whatever the other person is speaking or sharing, we should always listen actively with proper eye contact, and we should always keep our head nodding, so that other person would understand that yes, the person is listening and understanding as well. We should always not take out our cell phone from our pocket whenever we are talking with somebody, and we should surrender ourselves, we should surrender our consciousness to the person while listening to his talk. Third that we have is attire. Obviously we should dress always and always nicely. That definitely is one of the aspects to create an impression. Next we have awareness about guest preferences. Yes, it's one of the important points. We should know about the guest, so that we can host them properly. Next we have is appropriate language. Yes, language. Let's say if you are in a society, if we are interacting with one person, it's okay that we can use our regional language. You can talk with the person with your regional language. But let's say if you are interacting with more than one people, then definitely we should use the common language that has to be understood by every person over there. And obviously exit means, like, let's say if you're rushing back to your home, then definitely you know what are the things that has to be taken care of while exiting from the meeting or from the society. Yeah, so these are the things that has to be taken care of while being in society, and while interacting with the people around you. Next we have is telephone manners. So what are the telephone manners? Let's see. Put the phone down gently. Do not tie the shuffle papers while you are on the telephone. If you have sneeze or cough, or if you are over the phone, turn your head and cover your mouth. So it is very evident. Put the phone down gently. So we should not always show our emotions. We should always control our emotions irrespective of situation and irrespective of whatever news, types of news is. Let's say if your good news is there, then we should able to control our emotions. We should not be too much excited. We should not. So it happens most of the time, out of excitement we try to throw phone into the ears, we try to play with the phone, and in the let's say in the case of bad news, we try to throw the phone away out of anger and frustration. So we should always take care of all these things. Wedding manners. What wedding manners says that keep this ceremony short, sweet and simple. Do not plan a wedding that you cannot afford, and bride should have an attitude of not expecting gift. Yes, so these are the few elements about the wedding manners. We should not so the second point says that do not plan a wedding that you cannot afford. Obviously we should always put required elements in wedding. We should not exaggerate. We should not display our richness. So these are the points. Next we have meeting manners. Obviously convenient time and place. It's very important for both the parties that the time and place should be convenient for both the parties, so that they can come and meet. Next we have is going in and out during meeting is disruptive. Yes, obviously here comes the punctuality. Let's say if we have set in a time, definitely we should be always before on the time, so that you know the meeting should not be disrupted in between. And let's say if you are trying to go out, then make sure that you go after the meeting, so that again it should not be disrupted. Be sure that everyone knows the meeting purpose and agenda. Definitely while deciding the scenario of the meeting, we should always let the other person know what is the agenda and purpose of the meeting, so that the other person can come prepared Next we have is to actively participate in the discussions. Definitely these participation definitely removes the or eliminate the doubts for the particular meeting, and definitely it will also help you to remove your hesitation when you put your point forwards without without any thought. So these are the things that definitely has to be taken care of while meeting with the people around you, or in like in meeting, formal meeting, corporate meeting, any kind of meeting. So these are the points that has to be taken care of. It should be noted down. So here we have reached what are the ideal manners that has to be followed by us. So the first thing is wait for everyone to be served. Let's say if you are in table, if you are in dining table, definitely we should wait for the people to be served, because that should not look that if the other person is being served and you have started eating. So definitely we should wait for the other people to be served, then we should start eating together. Next is keep your things off the table. Yes, so whenever you are sitting on a chair, like table in front of you, we should let's say it happens most of the time in meeting. Let's say if you're in meeting, or let's say if you're in our office, we should always put our things in almirah or right next to the table, but we should not put the things on the table. That should not look good. Do not text at the table. Yes, let's say if you are sitting with somebody, we should always avoid using phone, because that would not look good if we keep ourselves busy with the phone and the other person is just trying to talk with us, try to have a conversation with us. So we should not engage ourselves in over the phone. If you prefer not to have wine while dining out, do not turn your glass upside down. Yes, so this is very basic manners that we are having right now. Next we have is do not micro stinky food in the shared lunch room. It's very evident. Yes, at the airport, do not crowd the boarding area. Yeah, that this manner should people have. Let people off the elevator and hold the door for others before you board. Next we have, if you have to say in your email reply is thanks, refrain from sending it. Yes, I mean that is very informal. Just sending thanks is not good enough. Keep your cell phone out of the conversation. Yes, definitely if you're talking with somebody, we should always and always stop using or avoid using mobile phones, because that definitely will not help getting into the conversation, or the other person will definitely feel disrespect. So we should always avoid using mobile phone while we are talking with somebody. And at last we have be polite in email. Yes, definitely we should be always and always polite, humble while writing an email or writing something to somebody, because words are everything. That creates that helps that plays a very important role. So we should always be humble. And respectful for the other person, so that the other person should feel important as well. So at last we have treat everyone with politeness, even those who you are rude to you, not because they are nice, but because you are nice. So this was the video about topic manners and etiquettes, and I hope you have got the hang of it. We have discussed most of the types of the manners that would definitely help you in conducting yourself in different scenarios. Thank you so very much. So guys, before I conclude, let's discuss what are the good manners in public. So it says, I usually dress carefully, not according to public demand, but feeling easy and comfortable. Yes, that's a very important point. I walk with confidence, never make noise or sound differently on road. That shows your cultured behavior, obviously. I usually walk on my side as per traffic rules. I never stand in the middle of the road. Never walk on road in a group without giving space to other to pass. I smile or laugh when there is occasion. I never pick my nose in public. I'm afraid to say no when things are not in accordance with safety rules. I am firm and polite. I always try to use sophisticated language and speak politely. That's very important. That seeks the attention of the people. That if you are really polite, if you are good in behavior and character, definitely that's you will be stand out, and definitely people will talk about you. So here's very basic things that I have discussed here. I try to behave in such a manner so that I do not embarrass anyone. Yes, we should be always respectful of the person. We should always respect elders. We should always respect other person. We should always give priority to other person's talk, other person's opinions. Very important to be in society. I introduce my friends to people I am with. Yes, so it's very important. That's indicates good manners. That if you are with your friends, and if you, let's say, if one common friend came up to you, and if you're introducing you to these people with the person, that's always wonderful thing. So we should always follow these things. The second we have is, what are the good manners that has to be displayed at home. So I usually help others at homes. You obviously helping your mother, your auntie, or your sister in household activities is always appreciable. Say please and thank you whenever it is required. Share and not grab or keep good things for me. Yes, obviously get up in the morning as soon as I am called. Yes, getting up early in the morning is very important. That shows your routine, good daily routine. Respect privacy of others and others personal stuff. Yes, obviously belongingness. And keep myself and my space, room clean. It's very important. Keeping your room, keeping your environment, that shows clean. That shows just how much you're conscious, how much you are disciplined are you. And go for meals on time. It's very important. That shows your punctuality. That shows your good routine, good. That shows you're leading your life in a good manner. Ask permission if I have to borrow something of others. Obviously, without seeking permission of somebody. Let's say if you want to take something of somebody, then we should always seek permission, or permission from that concerned person. So that shows our good manners and etiquette. In the continuation of the same, respect other people's property and their rooms. Very important. Never read letters or messages that belongs to others. Never stay in bathroom longer than time required. Never talk back or put down scolded. Never tease or tag other members of the family. Feel and say sorry in hurt anyone's feeling. Do not complain if I have to babysit while my parents are away from home. Do not switch television program to suit me. Hold the door open for the person coming in, especially if he's carrying something. Knock at the door before entering the home of the other. The next we have is good manners at college. So this is saying good morning, afternoon in I'm walking past an adult or a teacher, asking if I can borrow something, not just taking. Returning things that I have borrowed. Waiting for my turn before speaking. Saying excuse me rather than pushing past someone. Taking care of school or college property. Not talking with classmates when teachers are teaching. Helping junior students to develop confidence. Not leaning or just snooping around the teacher's table. Not making fun of other students. Throwing away useless things like paper, polythene, or wrappers, etc., in dustbins, not interfering in the privacy of people living near the school buildings or college buildings, not tearing paper from my copies, and my not bullying others. That's very basic thing. This has to be taken care of while being in college. Now at last we have good eating and table manners. I always wash my hands before and after the meals. I do not grab everything I want first but help others to get their food, and I'm prepared to share. I wait until everyone has to be served before I eat. I ask for things to be passed to me and not lean over the table. I do not stretch across the table to grab this bread. I keep my elbow off the table. I chew food with mouth closed. I do not make noise while eating or while sitting or standing from chairs. I do not talk with my mouth full. It is not a good look. I do not play with my food. If I need to blow my nose, I excuse myself and go out of the room first. After finishing food, I take my plates, etc., to the kitchen. So these are the types of manners and etiquettes that we've discussed. I hope you've got the hang of it. Thank you so very much, and try to implement the same. Thank you.